You and your higher self are creating reality together, and there has to be two of you. You know why? Because for every left, there is a right. For every up, there is a down. In the yin and the yang, which is the image created by the torus field that goes around your heart, there's black and there's white. There has to be contrast. So why would we think there's only one of us? There isn't only one of us. There's two. There's our higher self, which is non-physical, and our self here, which is physical. And your higher self is non-physical in the dimension above you and can see down to you, because the way dimensions work is you cannot see above you, but you can see below you. So your higher self is in a dimension above you, looking down. It can see everything, it can plan everything, it's trying to communicate with you, but the only way it can is through the non-physical. Through your body, through signs that you assign it. So you have a higher self, you have a soul, you have a consciousness that is non-physical, because every single thing, there's male, there's female, there's black, there's white, there's X and Y. So why wouldn't we think that there is a non-physical part of us? There is. And that is how we create reality. And in my last video, I was showing you how we create reality with our higher self. Because X and Y is our mind and body in the physical plane. And it's a transverse plane. And Z is the vertical higher self. And we communicate with each other through our nervous system, through feelings which are non-physical. You can feel them physically, but they are non-physical things. You cannot do anything but describe a feeling. There's no tangible evidence for feelings. So your non-physical self is trying to communicate with you to create reality. And when we can't listen, it's because we're on a hard level. And right now, everything is built to dysregulate our nervous system, which cuts off our access to ourselves, because it's the transverse plane. And when our mind and body get too restricted, we are restricting the Z. So when you look at the transverse plane, it's X and Y on a graph, right? Quadrants, X and Y. And then when it becomes 3D, it's because the Z is going right through the middle of the graph. And the Z is your higher self. And the X and Y is your mind and body. And I'm relating it now to math, because this is a mathematical universe. And if we are living in a hologram, as science suspects, what's a hologram? It's a fractal. And what's a fractal? It's just geometry. And what's geometry? Angles and math. Now, X, Y, and Z, when you put them into math, they are a linear equation. We experience time linearly. We experience things in this reality linearly. We have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The sun comes up, it strikes noon and goes to bed in the evening, and then the moon comes up and it's time. Everything is based on something that happens linearly. So if you are X, Y, and Z, then you're creating reality. And X, Y, and Z are variables that have no assigned meaning. That means they're not set. They are quantumly always fluctuating, and you decide what value you give them. And that collapses your quantum wave and creates the reality that you experience. So if you are cut off from your spirit or your higher self or your other you, then you are not able to communicate what to assign the variables in your equation of reality. Or as in my other video, your ingredients. So if you don't communicate with your other higher self, you are creating your reality based on programming, which are the variables that your equation already knows. It already knows what ingredients, because those are all your environmental stimulation and inputs that you have had in your life that you've experienced since you were born. Once you wake up and you realize that you have control, you are literally taking that equation And you are assigning it on purpose, different ingredients, different variables to create a different outcome, which is a different equation. And I keep using math because this is the universal language, and this system is based on what? A linear equation. I hope that was clear because it's so freaking exciting. But I tend to talk big and not relate things really well sometimes, but it's very cool. If nothing else, please take away that there is another you, a non-physical you, because everything else has a partner. There's a man, there's a woman, there's an X and the Y, there's an up, there's a down, there's a black, there's a white. So there has got to be a non-physical you that's in a dimension above, that can see below and is trying to communicate, but can only communicate in a non-physical way. And the way that you listen is to regulate your nervous system because it's coming through your body. Love you, mean it.